Cold, no light, a headache that could stop an elephant in its tracks. His chattering teeth clench as he draws in a weak breath, pulling in water from the stream in the process. He gags and coughs, spewing up water. His head feels like it might burst. In pain, he finds his balance and stands tall in the middle of the stream, turning in all directions, trying to gain some perspective. Stepping awkwardly and with caution to drier land, he is stricken by blackness. It's dark. The palest overcast sky only gives light to the outline of the tops of the trees. Still coughing and choking, he hears the echo of his own voice, the only sound. His head throbs. His fingers brush aside his wet hair to find a tender gash above his right ear. The blood is sticky on his fingers, and even in the pitch black woods he can still tell just how much blood there is. Pounding rhythmic heartbeat sounds like war drums inside of his head. After a moment, he comes to the conclusion that he has to get out of the woods. He thinks that moving in any direction, as long as it's downhill, is better than standing still. He's freezing and hopes that moving will warm him up. Step by labored step, he moves downhill, bumping into trees, walking clear through thick brush, and tripping and falling countless times. Every so often stopping to listen for any sign of life, anything to help give him a sense of direction. The only sound is his heartbeat, an intense rhythm that can now be heard almost echoing through the pitch-black forest. Falling again, he feels his way on all fours down a steep rocky slope. Stones and boulders, some jagged, others smooth and wet, make his journey slow and painful. Not wanting to stop, he finds strength to stand once more and continues moving, only now the ground is soft. He hears water and assumes he's standing on another muddy riverbank. Another step reveals deep, cold water. Another step, and the water is up to his pelvis. He backs out, not knowing how deep the water might be on his third step. Thinking now that the river runs downhill, and that he should follow it into the valley and hopefully to safety. Minute after minute goes by in his frightening descent out of the woods. Walking at a good speed now, having the river as a guide, he gains back some confidence and almost feels hopeful. After a few near falls, he stops to rest his tired legs. His heart beats so loud he swears he can hear the echo. His breath makes fog in the air as he exhales deeply, trying to slow his heart. Another breath all the way in, then out completely. His heart beats louder. Now he's sure he can hear it. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. A moment goes by, trying to calm himself and slow his heart as he becomes aware that his pulse is slowing, but the rhythm is not. The sound has been getting louder this whole time, and only now it is obvious that the beating of his heart was not what echoes through the forest. What he hears is the sound of a drum. With no choice now, he begins to jog with his arms stretched straight out in front of him. Colliding with anything in his way, he runs in a panic. The drums now sound like marching footsteps all around him. He's broke off from the river now and runs in a straight line in what he thinks is away from the sound chasing him, not stopping for what feels like almost an hour. His energy is spent. Falling to his knees, his palms slap down on smooth rock. The drum is beating loudly just behind him. Feeling for anything in his reach to defend himself, he finds nothing but a large slab of granite, at least as large as a dining room table. He's on this slab of granite, looking towards the sound, waiting to confront whatever emerges from the darkness. The woods, absent of light, has been replaced by a deep purple haze of the pre-dawn sky. Still dark now, but able to see the trees and all the blood on his hands and arms. The sound is right in front of me now. I'm sure I would see it. It sounds so close. An outline. At first, I think it's my imagination, but soon I see it's true. A man stands alone. He himself is darker than the woods. I call to him, but my voice is stolen by fear. We watch each other as the drumming continues. It now sounds like the chanting of hundreds of voices in every direction. Weejuk, Weejuk, Weejuk. Waiting for him to move, as I'm sure he waits for me. We share each other's gaze in the dawn as the dawn soon approaches. His figure is strange, fuzzy and abnormal, but surely human. In an instant of startling terror, the chanting stops. Never has silence been so loud. He moves towards me in a low-to-the-ground way, almost ape-like. Only feet away, I see his long arm reach towards the edge of the stone. Daylight now gives him a face. It is not that of a man, more beast than man. His face is that of a primate. As his hand touches the stone, I'm swallowed by the earth itself, pulled into the thickest clay, so heavy and cold I feel the bones break one by one as I sink below the earth. In my last conscious moment, I see the beast standing in the sunrise, and behind him, with drums in hand and on the backs of horses, are dozens of Native American Indians. The light has given the terror a face.